Hey, it's Metal Messiah from Rock Rage Radio here at South by So What? Not Austin, but Grand Prairie, Texas, right?
Yes.
I can't remember all these. Tell me we were talking about this. Can't remember towns hardly because you're going so much. Like, But anyway, how's it going, man?
Good. Going really good. Tired. It's a long day, but yeah, going well so far.
So you play in the band Lorna Shore?
Yes, I do. I play guitar in the band Lorna Shore.
Cool. So how long have you guys been a group, man? Been together doing this whole thing?
We've probably been a band since probably about 2011. Seriously, since I joined the band in 2011. Started kind of touring around then, but started consistently touring since probably about last year. So yeah, so kind of been a slow going process.
So you guys, what label are you guys on?
We're on Vagrant. We're on a branch of Vagrant, which is Density, which puts out more metal stuff.
Right.
So we just kind of picked up by them beginning of last year, and it's been good so far.
So that's been a good experience so far.
Yeah.
The label taking care of you.
Taking care of us, getting us in places that we haven't been able to get to ourselves, because before they picked us up, we put out an EP ourselves. There's only so much you can do as an unsigned band, only so many places you can get yourself. And since they took us over, they got us on radio, on like satellite radio, regular radio, got us on like other places and stuff like that. So definitely having the support of a label helps, and then obviously getting us into the studio, having the funds to do that is definitely really helpful. So it's been really
of course it is. Since it sucks when you have to pay it all back sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, but hopefully we can sell enough records to pay it back.
So far, you guys have been out, you said, playing a lot of shows on the road. So what's been the best city so far that you've enjoyed?
Best city? I don't know. There's a lot of good cities. The coast of the country are always really good. Seattle's always been good to us.
Seattle's nice.
LA's always been kind of good, or Hollywood, or a lot of California areas been good. We do definitely love Texas and the South, because just the people are very supportive of metal, so we kind of enjoy it. And always the East Coast has always been really, really good to us. So I mean, New Jersey, obviously, New York, Pennsylvania has always kind of treated us well. So I mean, like I said, along the coast of the countries have always kind of been better, it's more susceptible to us. So
I've always found that these like towns you wouldn't think that were like just metal driven towns, you go to and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, we had that happen to us in Topeka, Kansas. We pulled to the venue, we're like, this place is gonna do terrible, but I guess it's one of these places that
nothing else to do.
Yeah, nothing else to do, exactly. And like everyone came out, and I was kind of like, they actually knew who we were, not just like, oh, they came out.
That's cool.
So that was kind of.
But it seemed cool if they come out.
Yeah, exactly. But even
just
seeing all the people there was awesome. But the fact that people knew who we were, I was like kind of like taken back by that. So yeah, you get surprised sometimes. But yeah, mostly like bigger cities are always usually better to us.
Yeah, I can understand that, because I was in Indianapolis.
Okay.
And I was blown away. I was
we played in Indianapolis. We played at the Emerson Theater with Black Dahlia Murder, and the place was just like filled, and I was kind of just like, oh shit, So
yeah, I was at Mayhem Fest there, and it just blew my mind. Because I've been to other Mayhem Fests that weren't anything as wild as that. These kids were absolutely insane. So yeah, it was a fun time. So let's see, what's the most embarrassing moment so far on stage?
On stage, I haven't had anything really embarrassing. It's more just embarrassing when your gear kind of just
falls apart.
Yeah, falls apart. I really had anything where like I fell off stage or
I
never had any of that. But it's more embarrassing, I guess, just the technical side of things where stuff doesn't work, and that kind of
frustrating.
That's more frustrating than it is embarrassing. But I mean, I've seen embarrassing things. I've seen people poorly stage dive. I've seen people try to grab the mic and you're like, oh, these kids here know the words, and they just scream like that. To me, I guess that's more embarrassing. But I haven't had myself personally anything that's kind of been embarrassing. So
yeah, I saw a guy one time fall like in a hole.
Yeah,
like he just went over. And then I think it was the lead singer Saliva back in the day. He had kind of gained a lot of weight and everything, and I don't know if it was just that, and he was not used to it, but he went backwards and just kind of shuffled on off the stage. It's pretty funny. So, Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
All day long.
Oh yeah, without a hands down.
Star Trek, man, you better up your game, dude. Man, every time I ask that question.
The new Star Trek movies are cool.
Yeah, they're cool, but the movie, it's the movie is cool, but the fucking rest of the shit is whack. I'm a
fan of sci-fi, but I just think that like Star Wars and the entity of Star Wars and just the creative side of that, I think is just ingenious to me. And I grew up like being a little kid with a lightsaber and Darth Vader, and that kind of grew as I got older.
And they base a lot of that stuff on scientific facts.
And whether it be like historical stuff like the Empire being based off of Nazis and the color schemes and the ranking system of that, and just anything that is I think is more interesting to me than I guess the idea of just different color shirts with the same symbol and beating me up, Scotty. So.
I mean, that's all they got. So.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more things in a lightsaber that are just so interesting. Like really, I was watching something they were talking about how if you really built a lightsaber, it'd be impossible because it would just go right to the ceiling. You couldn't stop the actual beam. Is the problem.
But the only thing I do give credit to Star Trek is the idea of the cell phone came based off of Star Trek. The guy who started Motorola or made the cell phone got the idea from Star Trek. So that's the only thing.
It kind of looks like those old Motorola's that had the fin flip down like that.
That's what came from Star Trek. So I give everyone that uses a cell phone pay homage to Star Trek. So
there you go. All right, now what's next for you guys? And
what's next for us? After this, we meet up with the tour that we're on between Oceano, Last and Second to Life, Boris of Blade, and Martin Filed, and we make our way back home. At the end of April, we play New England Metal Fest again, which is always awesome. We played last year, which is always sick.
And you know why I love metal so much up there? Because them jokers are snowed in for like months, and they're like, that aggression, dude. They're just like,
we just love the Palladium because Palladium is just a cool place to play. We played there with Despise Icon in December, played there last year for New England Metal Fest, so we're excited to play there. And then hopefully our album comes out springtime with some new singles, new videos. So hopefully have all new material coming out within the next few months. That's all we got kind of so far.
That's pretty awesome. Where can people go and check out your music? Like, I'm sure you have all the social media.
Anything, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, to get stay with us with social
websites,
YouTube, all this names.
Do you feel like you get more play maybe on YouTube than some of the other stuff, or is it opposite?
I don't know. I feel like people hear about us through YouTube, but then I guess maybe people kind of after that point kind of take it a step further and support us and buy our music on iTunes or listen to us on Spotify. So I haven't really gauged what people, but we get play whether it be through Spotify or YouTube or people buy it on iTunes.
I think a lot of new bands whenever I'm just on their board, looking through bands. That's how I find those bands.
Oh, through YouTube?
Yeah.
I find a lot of bands on YouTube, but I guess since I use Spotify a lot more, especially on the road, I hit related artists, and you look and all right, this band has cool artwork, and you listen to them, and either they hit or miss. But yeah, I think the age of technology is helpful to find new music, but I guess
I think it's killed it though.
I also do think it's killed because I think the idea when Napster came out and downloading music, I think people got used to that, and I think people are just more reliable on that. Whereas back in the day, if you wanted to listen to a band, you had to buy their album, especially metal, because metal wasn't getting played on major radios.
It's harder to get to.
Exactly.
Because you couldn't, a lot of bands wouldn't even be at the level they are today if it wasn't for the internet, because no one would have heard of them.
Exactly. I think it's a catch-22. I think that it helps people find, I'm sure most people wouldn't have heard of us if it wasn't for the internet, but then also I think the downside is that people rely on it and they're like, okay, well, I'm waiting for this band's album to come out so I can just download it. And it kind of hurts in a sense, and I know everyone knows your spiel, so I don't need to elaborate on that. But I think it is helpful, but it is also harmful in some sort of way. So,
oh, man, I appreciate you so much, and I'm going to let you get back to doing what you got to do. I'm sure you have a lot more things you need to be doing, and kicking it in a shower of some locker room at a baseball field.
Yep.
All right, man. See you guys. Rock Rage Radio. Peace.